There is a time in public affairs for symbolism. Symbolism has its place. When we honor those who died on 9/11, when we graduate a class of correction officers, when we recognize people who have done volunteer work over and above, as we did just last week, those are symbolic moments where the government stops the day-to-day operation, and we recognize that there are things that are done that mean something of value to the society. We did that yesterday in recognizing, just by our signage, the African American cemetery at Greenwood Union Cemetery. But there's also a time in public affairs where the substance of public affairs must matter. We as a society have been so accustomed to appeals to ideology and to debates over philosophy that we think sometimes government is merely an arena for us to work out our philosophical and ideological battles. And truth, objective truth, and facts get pushed to the side as we support those things that we believe in. Government is not simply a clash of ideologies. Government has to provide certain concrete services, programs, and activities that can best be provided by the society acting through the government. We as individuals are responsible, in the main, for the health and welfare of ourselves and our families. We take on that obligation as adults when we have children. We take on that obligation just as individuals as we perform our life. Our responsibility to find gainful employment, our responsibility to provide food on the table for the people in our family. But individuals can't fix a public bridge that you need to drive over to get to that employment. We cannot, as individuals, provide the necessary services for transportation models and treatment of sewage. This is why society organizes itself in governments. And in every form of government known to mankind, there has been some function to accomplish these tasks. Now, throughout the history of the world, it's really been done in a way in which singular authority is held by force of power. It may be through a hereditary monarch. It might be through a military junta. It might be through an overarching religious leader. It might be through any combination of coups and physical force that exerts the authority over people that some government has. But for the last 243 years, this continent has determined that democracy, citizen involvement in governance, is the preferred way to operate, making these decisions. And that's why I talk about using government as a place to clash in ideology as being a sideshow, when the real reason for government to exist is to provide a structure for the society so that the individual can prosper. Now, this is not the national government. I say this all the time. It's not the state government. This is a county government. We have very defined functions. We work as closely as we can with the local municipal governments. We, too, are a local government. We're a regional local government. And where the local government provides recreation in your neighborhood with playgrounds and best pocket parks, we provide regional services, because not every community has a nature center. Not every community has a public golf course. We provide those things on a regional basis. Not every community can treat its sewerage within the context of its physical topography. We provide that as a regional government. And sometimes these tasks are ignored. They're not as sexy as the issues that you see on television being debated on this channel or that channel. But this is the essential element of providing a service and what government is tasked to do. This is what the Founding Fathers intended when they decided to create a democracy, as Franklin said, if you can keep it. And the keeping of the democracy is not just how we handle ourselves in a political climate, but it's how we handle ourselves in governing, that we care enough to provide these services effectively and efficiently, and that we shut down the rhetoric and we focus on the results. And those results do not have a political party attached to them. I'm proud to say in this administration, many of the leaders of this administration preceded my administration. And when I came into office, I sought out people with the quality of a Ken Jenkins and a Joan McDonald to join us, but I believe I had the presence of mind to maintain people like Larry Sewell and Vincent Kopicki, who served this county well already, and to make sure they continue to serve us going forward. That is when you put substance ahead of symbolism. This budget and the budget to follow is about substance. I'm perfectly prepared to discuss with the press or members of the public on any of my travels. I'm happy to debate this at any point in time that anybody would prefer to debate on it. And there's a legitimate element of debate in democracy if you choose to debate it. But if you don't choose to debate it, it doesn't mean you can erase that which is the substance of government. So if you want to go through this capital project list, if you want to go through this budget, I welcome you to do that. And when we submit the operating budget, I welcome you to go through that. I welcome you to participate in the forums that the executive branch is going to have, and then even more importantly, the public hearings and public meetings that the legislature is going to have. And I'd like you to be engaged. You certainly have every right to know what the tax impact will be, but you ought to know what the policy impact would be. Because I assure you, as Franklin once said, the only way that this is a democracy is if we keep it. And the only way we keep it is by understanding that the privileges of citizenship come with the responsibilities of citizenship. I'm George Latimer, Westchester County Executive. Thank you for watching. I bid you a good day. Be safe, and we'll communicate with you again soon. Thank you all.